You filled out the credit application. You handed it to the finance manager. And now you're sitting in the waiting room, maybe staring at your phone, maybe watching the clock, wondering what's going on behind that closed door. Most people have no idea what's actually happening on the other side. I do, because I was on the other side of that door for 26 years. I'm Gary, the Bad Credit Card Guy, and today I'm going to walk you through exactly what happens after you hand in your credit application, step by step, from the moment it leaves your hands to the moment the finance manager comes back out to talk to you. No sugarcoating, no dealer spin, just the truth about how this process actually works. The second you hand that application to the finance manager and they walk back into their office, here's what happens first. They review your application before they do anything else. They're looking at what you wrote down. Your name, address, social security number, time at residence, time on the job, monthly income, monthly housing payment. They're checking it for completeness. Missing fields, inconsistencies, anything that looks off. If something looks wrong, if your income seems too high for the job you listed, if your time on the job seems off, if anything raises a question, a good finance manager is going to come back out and ask you about it before they pull your credit. Because pulling your credit with bad information on the application is a waste of everyone's time. This is why, and I talked about this in video 1, being accurate and honest on that application matters so much. The finance manager is your advocate in this process. Give them accurate information and they can go to work for you. Give them information that doesn't hold up and they're fighting an uphill battle before the deal even starts. Once they're satisfied, the application is solid. They pull your credit. Pulling your credit means the finance manager submits your social security number and personal information to one or more of the 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and gets back a full credit report. What comes back is your complete credit history, every account you've ever had, every payment, on time or late, every collection, every repo, every bankruptcy, your credit score, your debt to income ratio, all of it. Now here's something most people don't know. The finance manager isn't just looking at your score. They're reading your bureau like a story. They're looking at the pattern of your credit history. Are your lates recent or old? Recent lates are a bigger problem than old ones. Is there a pattern of paying and then falling behind? Or was there one bad period? A job loss, a medical situation, a divorce, and then things stabilized? Lenders look at that pattern too. Are there open collections? How many? How recent? Are there any that look like they might be a repossession in disguise? The finance manager is building a picture of you as a borrower, not just reading a number. And then they're going to figure out which lenders are the best fit for that picture. Here's something most car buyers don't realize. Your finance manager isn't sending your deal to one lender and hoping for the best. They're working with a portfolio of subprime lenders, each one with their own buy program, their own credit tiers, their own appetite for certain types of deals. Some lenders are better for customers with recent bankruptcies. Some lenders specialize in first-time buyers with thin credit files. Some lenders will work with open collections. Some won't touch them. Some want more money down. Some are more flexible on income. The finance manager's job is to match your specific credit profile to the lender most likely to approve your deal, and to structure that deal in a way that fits that lender's buy program. That's why experience matters on the finance side. A good finance manager who knows their lenders can find an approval that a less experienced one would miss entirely. They know which lender to call first. They know how to package your deal. And they know how to tell your story in a way that gives you the best shot at an approval. Once the finance manager has identified the right lender, or lenders, they submit your deal. That means sending your credit application, your credit bureau, and the details of the vehicle you're looking at to the lender electronically. And then they wait. This is what you're sitting in the waiting room during. The lender is reviewing your deal on their end. They're running their own verification checks, cross-referencing your application information against their data sources, LexisNexis, the work number, address history, income verification, everything I talked about in video 1. The lender's response comes back one of 3 ways. Number 1, an approval. This means the lender is willing to finance your deal. The approval will come back with specific terms: the amount they'll finance, the interest rate, the maximum loan term, and any conditions that need to be met before they fund the deal. These conditions are called stipulations, or STIPs. Number 2, a counteroffer. This is very common in subprime. The lender likes the deal but wants to change the terms. Maybe they'll approve it, but they want more money down. Maybe they'll approve it at a shorter loan term. Maybe they want a less expensive vehicle. A counteroffer is not a denial, it's a negotiation. And this is where your down payment becomes critically important. I'm going to do a dedicated video on down payment strategy because it's that important. And understanding how counters work is a big part of why. Stay tuned for that one. Number 3, a decline. The lender passes on the deal entirely. When this happens, the finance manager goes back to their lender portfolio and looks for another option. Sometimes there is one. Sometimes there isn't. And that's when an honest conversation needs to happen about what needs to change to make the deal work. So when the finance manager finally comes back out to talk to you, now you know what just happened behind that door. They reviewed your application, they pulled your credit and read your bureau. They matched your profile to the right lender. They submitted your deal and waited for a response. And now they're coming to tell you what that response was. If it's an approval, great. But don't just sign. Understand the terms. What's the interest rate? What's the loan term? What are the stipulations? What do you need to provide to get the deal funded? I'll cover all of that in future videos. If it's a counter, listen carefully. Understand exactly what the lender wants to change and why. This is where knowing your down payment options matters. And again, I'm going to cover down payment strategy in depth in an upcoming video because it can be the difference between a counter turning into an approval or a deal falling apart. If it's a decline, ask the finance manager what specifically caused it and what would need to change. A good finance manager will tell you straight, and that information is valuable because it tells you exactly what to work on before you try again. The most important thing I want you to take away from this video is this. This process is not mysterious. It's not random. There's a logic to it. And the more you understand that logic, the better position you're in to get the outcome you need. I'm Gary, the Bad Credit Card Guy. I spent 26 years on the other side of that door. Everything I put out on this channel comes from real experience, not theory, not textbook answers. What actually happens in a real dealership with real deals. In the next video, I'm going to go deep on down payments, how much you actually need, what happens when you don't have enough, and how your down payment affects not just your approval, but your monthly payment and the total cost of your loan. That's a video you don't want to miss. If you haven't grabbed the free guide yet, The 7 Things Dealers Check Beyond Your Credit Score, the link is in the description below. It goes deeper on exactly what lenders are looking at when they review your deal. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Drop your questions in the comments. I read all of them. I'll see you in the next one.